guys and welcome back to Brainwash. So Ray released on Netflix yesterday and it's basically an anthology series based on short stories written by the legendary filmmaker Satyajit Ray. And we have to say that some of these stories have really stood the test of time. And they're also presented in a different manner by every director in this thinly tied together universe. There are 4 different segments in this anthology series, with each episode being almost an hour long. So we're gonna talk about all of the 4 entries separately here. And the first one on the list is Forget Me Not. Forget Me Not is a paranoid thriller directed by Srijit Mukherji, which is based on the short story Bipin Chaudhary's Smriti Bhrom, which translates to Bipin Chaudhary's memory loss. In this episode, we follow Ali Fazal as he plays a self-obsessed corporate businessman who everyone refers to as a human computer. But when he can't seem to remember a 3 to 4 day patch which happened about 2 years ago, his entire world starts to crumble around him. The whole premise of this episode about a man coming to the painful conclusion that his greatest superpower, his sharp mind, is fading away slowly as he seems to be losing his memories is scarily intriguing. The haunting cinematography of nighttime Mumbai is on point, and Ali Fazal is outstanding as a man who's slowly losing his sanity. But it's the story and the execution that lets you down a little bit. The first 2 acts of the episode are near perfect, but then the ending, which is shot very well actually, robs the story from its scariest part, the ambiguity that the story has. For people who love darker endings and twists in their movies, they will love this segment, and frankly it's a personal preference thing. We would still urge you to watch this one and form an opinion on your own. The next episode on this list was Bahrupiya. Again directed by Srijit Mukherji and based on the short story named Bahrupi, this again is a dark tale of a lonely, overlooked man who has a descent into madness. Starring Menon, who carries the entire segment on his own, Bahrupiya shows a part-time makeup artist who has his heart broken by the woman he loves. His landlord yells at him and so does his boss. Fed up with how he is and how the world treats him, the protagonist decides to change himself and his identity by using prosthetic makeup. Once he realizes how good he is at it, he decides to take revenge on the people around him. This is probably the weakest segment in the entire series as it's oversimplified. Nothing much of significance happens in the first half that might excite you. The third act is actually where the story picks up its pace and it actually ends on a very haunting note. The 2 episodes directed by Srijit Mukherji are dark in their nature and almost try to imitate Black Mirror in some ways as it takes these short stories and shows them in the darkest tones possible. Menon is the heart and soul of this otherwise inconsistent episode, and it's definitely worth a watch for his performance. The third episode in the Ray series is called Hungama Hai Kyon Barpa and is easily the best episode of this bunch and is miles ahead of the rest. Hungama Hai Kyon Barpa is based on Ray's Barim Bhaumikir Byaram, meaning Barim Bhaumik's ailment. It's directed by Abhishek Chaubey, the director of films like Urta Punjab and Son Chiriya. The episode stars Manoj Bajpayee and Gajraj as 2 men who meet on a train journey. Both have a feeling that they have seen the other before but just can't seem to remember where and how. This is the most light-hearted and delicate story of the bunch and it plays out so nicely on screen because of how brilliantly it's executed. It's basically a story of just 2 men on a train. But Abhishek Chaubey adds a bit of a cinematic flair to the story with some beautiful screenplay and set design to go with it. The episode relies heavily on the 2 main stars, both of whom are exceptional in their role. Especially Manoj Bajpayee, who just seems to get better with every role. The story itself unfolds nicely and gives you a sense of fulfillment that the other stories may not. And if you are gonna watch only 1 episode from this entire show, then this is the one that everyone should watch. The last episode of the series was named Spotlight, which is based on a short story of the same name. This story is directed by Vasan Bala, and at the start of the episode, we are shown a quote by Satyajit Ray himself, which says there's always room for improvisation. And that is what Vasan Bala does with this story. He basically freestyles a reimagining and expansion of an insecure movie star who knows about his limitations as an actor. Harshavardhan Kapoor is casted perfectly here as a superstar who has limited acting skills and only has one look that he is famous for. But he is still the weakest link in this episode. He just doesn't fit into the talented roster of actors and looks even more out of place because of the good performances we see from the other leads in the previous episodes. His body language is kinda off and his dialogue delivery is bad too. There's a scene where he tries to stutter and it just looks so unnatural. Now coming to the story that shows us a superstar having an existential crisis during a location shoot in a hotel as he is overshadowed by a mysterious god woman who moves into the same hotel and evicts him out of his Madonna room. He misses the spotlight that was on him and subsequently loses his charm and confidence in front of the camera as well. Now this is one of the stories that we are indifferent about. We understand that it's a social satire, but it just doesn't hit all the right marks. There are several movie references, good dialogues and the wonderful acting by both Radhika Madan and Chandan Roy Sanyal that keeps you entertained. But the ending just gets into the magical realm and wants us to believe in the thing that the episode is showing us. It's a very 50-50 kind of episode with people either enjoying it or not enjoying it based on their personal preference. So guys, this was our review about the series Ray. Do let us know in the comments below, did you watch the series? What did you think about it? Let us know. Also, do let us know in the comments below what are the videos you want us to make next. Follow our social media handles to get to know us better, like and share this video and subscribe to Brainwash for more videos like these.